Hello, mamas. Welcome to today's discussion on ahimsa and mental health. What is ahimsa? Ahimsa means non-violence. Practicing non-violence helps us gain our individuality, helps us find our path, and also helps our children find theirs. So, to understand this more, let's understand what is ahimsa. Ahimsa is a Sanskrit word. It is the absence of hinsa, meaning violence. It includes compassion and kindness for all living things. It emphasizes equal respect for one and all. There are three types in which we can inflict violence. One, through our thoughts. Two, through our speech or words. And three, through our actions. Now, this video is not going to talk about violence towards others, and it's not going to talk about, the usual getting angry or eating non-vegetarian food or killing somebody. No, it's going to focus on how we inflict violence upon ourselves through our thoughts, our words, and our actions. So there are three ways, moms, in which we inflict violence to ourselves. The first one is complaining, blaming others, blaming the situation, blaming ourselves. Complaining or blaming takes away the possibility of a solution. There was a study done in 1996 in Stanford University which proved that continuous complaining over a period of time can actually reduce the hippocampus, the part of the brain which is responsible for emotions, memories, and yes, problem solving. Number two, criticizing. When we criticize something, we are always looking at the negative. This also builds up a lot of anger, and it also takes away from the real issue. The third is comparisons. Comparisons of us with others. I don't have this, he has this. Comparisons of our kids with other kids. He's such a good kid. He listens to his mom. He listens to his dad. What do? Comparisons of our spouse with other people's spouses. You know what? Her husband does so much for the kids. Her husband does so much for her. You have your own strengths. You have your own weaknesses, your own abilities. When you need to compare yourself with yourself. Or, maybe a task at hand. So, for example, let's look at yoga, right? So, when you're doing this, you're understanding how you need to do what you need to do at each stage, where the stretch needs to be felt, which parts of your body are getting utilized, how your breath work needs to be. You're focusing on that and not what your neighbor is doing on the mat next to you. So just think how all of this actually impacts our mental health. It impacts our mental health in 2 or 3 main ways. A, we fail to recognize our own strengths, our capabilities that are unique gifts that we bring onto the world. B, it creates a space for self-loathing, self-hate, self-pity, self-doubt, lack of self-respect. And because we're taking away the power from ourselves, we're actually handing over the power to somebody else. And now they are dictating our narrative. And therefore, again, the cycle of self-doubt, self-pity starts. Think about the times you have actually focused on blaming somebody or a situation rather than thinking about different unique capabilities you had to solve that situation. I'll give you an instance. Growing up, I had a friend and we went to some school camp and she suddenly stopped talking to me, and she also ensured that all the friends in that group stopped talking to me. For a very, very long time, I spent a lot of my energies figuring out why, what did I do wrong. I was a little less confident then. So it's like, oh, I must have done something. All the time when I was not self-doubting myself, I was actually blaming her, trying to say, oh, you know what? She's like this. Why is she being such a bully? Yeah, and then I try to console myself, God will punish her, karma will come back and bite her. Many years later, she met me and she gave me a hug and she told me, I was envious of you. I was envious of you that you didn't even have such good grades, but you were still a part of this camp. I was envious of you that you were starting to get popular. I was envious of you that you were happy and you had a story. Basically, I was envious of all of you. A client approached me the other day and was having a lot of problem because she is an agreeable and amiable person, but one particular colleague of hers and she could just not get along. She would come and she would talk for hours about this colleague. She would criticize his style of working, how he was different and how he did not understand the problem. And sitting on the other end of the table, I could understand that they just had two different styles of working which could actually complement each other and work on a solution which would be for the good for the company. But because she was spending all her energies in criticizing her colleague, she also started second guessing herself. And when her colleague told her that, I don't think this is going to work, she broke down. Growing up, we've all heard the story of the tortoise and the hare. You know, when I was younger, the moral of the story was, slow and steady wins the race. As we grew older, the pace in life changed, and then the moral of the story became the fastest donkey wins the race. But if you come to think about it, neither of them are the morals. The moral was the hare lost because he started comparing. So a lot of times people come to me and talk to me about how lack of confidence actually causes complaining or, comparing or criticizing. But sometimes it cannot be the lack of confidence, but it could be comparing, which could also make you forget about your powers, as it happened in the case of the hare and the tortoise. So mamas, break this cycle. Practice ahimsa. For what? For gaining your own individuality, for controlling your narrative, and to stop the negative chatter. Happy Non-Violence Day.